Joe.
Way up to the front of the grill.
All right, folks, it's 1 minute after 1. We'll call the meeting to order. Start off with a roll call.
Certainly. Delaware County, Joe Cazzola.
Present.
Ryan Hanel. Excuse, Pat Delameter.
Here.
Maggie Wilson.
Here.
Dave Simmons.
Present.
Fulton County, Country Suite.
Here.
Jack Farquhar.
Here.
Mike Tracy and Mark Souza are excused. Hamilton County, Joyce Belidi is excused. Phil Belidi, present. Ken Kirk.
Here.
Avis Warner is excused. Gary Wicks.
Here.
Montgomery County, Thomas Pasquarelli.
Here.
Mickey Schwartz is excused. Chris Sanders. Tony Agresta.
Here.
Otsego County, Sid Chase.
Here.
Seth McGowan.
Here.
Nick Brent, alternate, is excused. Tim Foster.
Here.
Rich Kirschman. Excused. Schoharie County, Ed Brand is excused. Ed Hillenbrand.
Here.
Dr. Love.
Here.
Benjamin Lau.
Here.
Peter Nichols, alternate, is
Here.
excused. Oh, Peter Nichols is here, I'm sorry. Excuse me, you're hiding there, sorry. Zeke is excused. Lou Jones is present. Lou, there you are. Okay. Dr. Markowitz?
Here.
We have a quorum, sir.
All right, everyone should have received way back when, the minutes for the June 20th meeting. Any questions, revisions, corrections, anything with those? If not, I will take a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Carried. Introduction to guests.
Certainly, Howard Hughes is here from SUNY Cobleskill. Bill Dunham is present. Tim Hannigan from the Hannigan Law Firm is here. Welcome. Dave Laverne from Empire Ambulance. Troy Ambulance.
Good afternoon.
/ Empire Ambulance is here. Dave, welcome. Bill Beavers. Bill was here.
Bill's here.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
He lost his voice.
Okay. Joe Farrell from the Department of Health is here. Dan Clayton from the Department of Health is also here. Bruce Hebra from the Johnstown Fire Department. Welcome. Steve Santa Maria is also here from the Office of Emergency Management in Fulton County. And Beth Putnam is here from the Office of Emergency Management. Welcome, both of you. I'm sorry, my vision is a little blocked here. Did I leave anybody out? It was inadvertent if I did, I assure you. Welcome, one and all. You are always welcome.
All right, everybody should have got a copy of the correspondence from over the summer. We only took about 3 trees for that, up on the speculator, the Adirondack Park. If there's any questions, certainly feel free to see Phil. I don't really have a report other than welcome back for another fun-filled year of AAREMS and REMAC meetings, and helping continue to move VMS forward in this medical region. So nice to see that the faces are back. Secretary's report.
Amen to Tom's comments. Information contained in our correspondence log, which is of course extremely voluminous today because it's 3 months worth, should also be considered a part of my report because it does detail, in many cases, information sent and information received. On June 25th, we participated in a conference call with Lynn Perugia of the Department of Health, in which details of the 2019-2020 Council and Program Agency budgets were discussed. On July 10th, we participated in the monthly Program Agency Directors Conference call with DOH. Some salient points included discussion on progress of the PECC recruitment statewide, discussion on BLS protocol rollout, vital signs conference registration, and work on authorizing additional regional faculty is ongoing. On July 17th, we received word of a defibrillator use at a county medic in Schoharie County. The patient was a 63-year-old male who unfortunately did not respond to resuscitative efforts. On July 18th and 19th, we sent a copy of the DOH rollout letter about the 2019 statewide BLS protocol to all council and REMAC members and all agencies for which we have an accurate email address. just a word about that. If any agency is noting, and they haven't to me, but if any agency is noting that they are not regularly receiving our emails, please have them contact me at the office at AAREMS, or leave a voicemail on the telephone, a voice message on the telephone, and it just means that I need a more accurate email address for them, because occasionally my emails get bumped back to me, and that makes for a little frustration, because we want everybody to have all the information available. On July 24th, we received word that Martha Galke, the Director of EMS for Children at the Department of Health, is leaving the EMS Bureau for another position in the Department of Health. We send best wishes and congratulate her on the fine job she has done with EMS for Children. On August 7th, we participated in the usual monthly program agency directors conference call with DOH. The points covered then included a salary comparison survey is underway with all program agencies. All have been asked for a listing of agencies that employ paid personnel, and we are certainly participating in that survey, and I have provided information as requested. On August 13th, we were audited routinely by the State Insurance Fund. This is an on-site audit that occurs once every 4 years by regulation. All paperwork was found to be in good order. On September 5th, we had another monthly program agency director conference call. Some points discussed. Work is ongoing to revise and simplify the deliverables reporting tool. Most of the program agency directors, if not all of us, state that there are a number of really unnecessary redundancies in the delivery tools, the delivery reporting tools, I should say, and repetitions will be eliminated where possible, as per Ryan Greenberg. Travis Howe of Mountain Lakes Region will set up a conference call to go over suggestions, a conference call with just the program agency directors, so we can make some suggestions to DOH. That conference call has not yet taken place. Course applications will be electronic from now on, and computer-based testing is on the horizon, and on-site scoring is being phased out in December or January. Further details will be supplied very shortly. BLS protocols training is now available from the Department of Health with sign-in on the vitalscienceacademy.com. There is both a short and a long form available. If regions had previously adopted their own training modality, the short form may be used, otherwise the long form is to be used. That is the case with all of our AAREMS agencies. The long form takes approximately 1.5 hours of online training time. John McMillan will send out information. Actually, he has already done so. More about that in a moment. Overall, there will be greatly increased use of electronic technology in the training and testing areas, as per our last conference call with DOH. Central Bridge has sent us a 5136 form requesting approval for their upgrade to NEMSIS 3.4. I'd like to make a motion that we approve their upgrade to NEMSIS 3.4, and I'd call for a second on that. Joe Cazzola seconds.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Motion carries.
Worcester Fire Department Emergency Squad has also sent us a 5136. Once again, they are requesting an upgrade to 3.4. I'd like to make the motion that we approve that.
Second? Joe?
Joe. Okay.
Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstaining? Motion carries.
Our yearly audit of the region is scheduled for September 24th, next Tuesday, at our offices at 0900. This is a routine thing. It requires just moving a lot of paper files around and a lot of electronic files around. I will keep everybody informed, and as usual, all the members will receive a copy of the audit results. This is a kind of a blast from the past. We're getting rid of some old files that we don't need to keep around anymore, making a little bit more space in our regional storeroom. And in May 2001, we conducted a satisfaction survey in the region. Some of you will remember that, most not, but some will remember. There was a considerable response. It was a very positive response. It was an anonymous response from all agency members. It is well worth knowing that the greatest element affecting effective recruitment and retention was given to be intra-agency negativity, infighting, and lack of mutual respect. All responses were anonymous, and all were shared with the Department of Health at the time. Interesting, huh? What does the French say? The more things change, the more they stay the same. Worth noting. We have a notice of 2 enforcement actions that were handed to us by the Bureau. One of the gentlemen from Plainview, New York, which I believe is in Long Island, I'm not sure. I'm sorry?
I believe so.
And, he was suspended for 1 year, effective May 31st. The suspension was stayed, was a probation for 3 years, effective May 31st. Civil penalty of $2,000, of which $1,000 was stayed. We have a second one from an individual in New York City, suspended for 1 year, suspension stayed. Same action of enforcement was taken, probation for 3 years, effective May 31st. Civil penalty of $2,000, of which $1,000 is stayed. As per regulation, full information on this will be published in the minutes, which you should receive in the next 2 or 3 days. That serves my report for the Secretary.
All right, treasurer's report.
On July 1st, we forwarded to Lynn Ferrugia at DOH a claim for payment in the amount of $34,820.41, and it was accompanied by supporting documentation for the 4th quarter of the program agency contract. That would be April 1st through June 30th of this year. On July the 8th, we forwarded a claim for payment in the amount of $4,264.58 and supporting documentation for the 1st quarter of the RIMSCO, the council contract, for the same time period. On July 17th, Ms. Ferrugia confirmed that all material had been received. On August 12th, we received a direct deposit of $34,820.41 for the program agency claim for payment. And on September 13th, she advised that payment of the council voucher was set for today. And it's by direct deposit, so I'll advise everybody in the minutes. I'm sure we're going to receive it today. A printed report of the cash flow and balance sheet was distributed to all members. Tom, Lou, Sid, and Jack Farquhar first received detailed cash flow balance sheets and register reports, plus copies of canceled checks, as per the review arrangements agreed on to meet audit standards, and their report is.
Everything was found to be complete and accurate.
Thank you.
We have a motion to accept the treasurer's report. Second?
Second.
Any discussion, questions? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining?
I will abstain as a staff member.
Regional program update,
Nothing to report other than what I already have about the conference calls.
training.
The certified instructor update class, Class S actually, was conducted at SUNY Cobleskill on August the 17th. We had 25 attendees for the morning session and 28 in the afternoon session. That's the largest turnout we've had in quite some time. The evaluations were extremely positive, and I wish to, on my own behalf, and if I may be bold to do so on behalf of the council, extend my appreciation to Howard Youth for his work in assisting with the conducting of the CIU training. Thank you, Howard, very much.
Happy to help. Actually, we got really lucky with doing pre-registration. I got to see who was coming, and then I realized that I was going to be the rookie in the room. So we made the executive decision to flip the classroom and get some of the use of the 20 to 30 year vet educators who were going to be there. And I had learned a lot and had a great time too. So yeah, it was a really good session.
It was a very, very positive session, everything I have heard and read about it. Very, very positive. Our teaching day is set for Saturday, November 2nd, right here at the Holiday Inn. Joyce has been working very closely with Air Method, Steve Anderson, and one of the nurse instructors there. And she advises me that we're all set. We should have the brochure available online, and the flyer, I should say, the flyer available online with online registration. That should be available by Tuesday the latest, this coming Tuesday the latest. I just spoke with Joyce about it. The morning session will be from 0900 to 1200. The subject will be pediatric emergencies. The afternoon session will be from 1300 to 1600 about air medical transport necessity and emergencies. And there will be further full details and the usual information on the flyer when it comes out. We have to levy a fee for this because it's an all-day affair. 6 hours CME will be awarded to those successfully completing. It will be for BLS and ALS personnel for both. And it will include a continental breakfast and full lunch with afternoon snacks to keep everybody awake. In any event, like I said, full details will be on the flyer and online registration will be available. And then we'll be asking that those registering or their agencies send us the fee in a timely manner.
Phil, do you have an idea what the cost will be?
I'm assuming it's either $60 or $65. It was $65 last year. Let us say for right now $65. The statewide BLS protocols training tool was rolled out to the program directors in early September. It revealed some software problems that were addressed. On September 13th, John McMillan at DOH advised all regions, of the Vital Signs Academy availability as part of the new DOH learning management system. This information, containing a link to instructions for completing the protocol update training, was sent out on September 14th to all council and REMAC members and all agencies, once again, for which we have an accurate email address. The address for the LMS website is also posted on the homepage of our website. And the deadline for all personnel to complete the training is set by the Department of Health as December 31st of this year. Training on the collaborative ALS protocol updates will be available through a program developed by Dr. Daly at Albany Medical Center. The link to that training is not yet available, but will be widely shared as soon as necessary updates are made. I was speaking with Dr. Daly just a few days ago, and he advised me of this information. AAREMS is providing financial assistance, as are many other regions, to update the collaborative protocol apps, both in Android and iPhone formats. And the statewide BLS protocols will be word for word on those apps as soon as the update comes through. Our cost for this was $106.67. It's prorated, you see, statewide. The new BLS protocols will be incorporated into these, as I mentioned. And just a word about our website. I mentioned it before about putting the information about vitalscienceacademy.com on our website. We ran into a software problem with our website. I notified everybody by email, and I thank Howard particularly because he called my attention to it. Our website publishing software developed a glitch, for want of a better word. It developed a glitch with a capital G, so we had to ditch, because of the glitch, we had to ditch our software publishing, and now we're doing everything through a piece of software called Dreamweaver. It's part of the Adobe family of software tools, and we're composing the website, revising it, and publishing all of that through Dreamweaver now, and that's turning out to be fairly successful. But there's still some things I don't know how to do in Dreamweaver, so bear with me. Bear with me. The learning curve is less steep than it was. But I am able to publish information, update files, update the tech lists, etc. And more is coming. That's my report, sir.
All right. Transportation standards.
Okay. In case you haven't noticed, the September meeting is kind of a reading lesson, of a writing lesson, of a speaking lesson. The Wells Ambulance TOA, on June 21st, we sent a copy of the Wells TOA roll call vote to Mr. Clayton and Mr. Jonas at the Department of Health. The results of the JVAC TOA process were transmitted to Mr. Clayton at DOH, that's the original one, and to the Hannigan Law Firm at their request, since they represent the parties to the TOA on May 17th. On June 6th, we were advised that JVAC has entered into a contractual agreement with Empire Ambulance to staff an ambulance vehicle stationed at JVAC headquarters to be ready to respond to Naples Hospital when so requested. No further details available at this time. Application from Ambulance Service of Fulton County for a TOA to Empire Ambulance. Everything on that is holding fire at the present time. Application of Ambulance Service of Fulton County and Johnstown Area Volunteer Ambulance Corps to resume ALS level of service. The REMAC doctors approved by email a provisional restoration of ALS status so that both services could apply to the Department of Health for reinstatement of their controlled substance licenses. At the present time, that was all transmitted to the state. At the present time, there's no action on that. On August 30th, we received another application requesting approval of a TOA from JVAC to Troy Ambulance, doing business as Empire Ambulance. This application was sent to us by the Hannigan Law Firm despite the fact of AAREMS already having voted that the JVAC operating certificate was non-transferable on May 16th. We made that vote. This action is also on hold now because of the following. On August 30th, we received notice from the Department of Health Division of Legal Affairs of enforcement actions going forward against both ASFC and JVAC. We were further advised by Mr. Clayton of the Department of Health that due to this, all action regarding the transferability of their respective operating certificates are suspended pending enforcement action outcome. The notice of enforcement action filing was sent to all AAREMS members, and DOH is requesting a recommendation from this council, as to whether the respective operating certificate should be revoked, suspended, annulled, or limited. The Council Executive Committee on September the 9th unanimously recommended revoking the certificates based on agency non-compliance with the requirements of DOH Policy 1309 and the fact that EMS coverage in the affected areas has been consistent and complete since the closing of both agencies. This recommendation was clearly presented to the Department of Health as the recommendation of the Executive Committee only, since the full council was scheduled to meet after the requested September 13th recommendation date. So I just wanted everyone to know that the Executive Committee made a recommendation and clearly stated this was the recommendation of the Executive Committee only, not the full council, since the full council would not meet until today, and the recommendation was requested for 6 days in the past. One more item. On August 13th, we received an unredacted copy by email of TOA paperwork from Margaretville Hospital. This proposed TOA wishes to show Health Alliance Incorporated as the active parent of Margaretville Memorial Hospital, and therefore the Margaretville Memorial Hospital Ambulance Squad, and Westchester County Healthcare Corporation as the active grandparent of Margaretville Memorial Hospital, and therefore the Margaretville Memorial Hospital Ambulance Squad. The application in redacted form was sent out to all AAREMS members and was found to be complete by this committee. And now the question before the council, shall the council declare the Margaretville Memorial Hospital Transfer of Authority request as complete and so advise the Department of Health, and at the same time request that the Department of Health conduct a fitness and competency investigation into the applicants, the appropriate applicants as named in this paperwork. I would like to make a motion that that the TOA application for Margaretville is found to be complete, and the Department of Health is respectively requested to conduct the appropriate fitness and competency action and report their findings to this council. I'd like to make such a motion and request a second.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Simmons.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? That's it. Policy Committee,
Nothing.
State Council report, we have nothing. The State Council actually meets next week on Tuesday and Wednesday, so that will be for the next week.
Just a note on the correspondence for the people who are trying to follow along. They're stapled in the wrong order.
Actually, I thought the dates were out. It was 8 was mixed in, it was like 9, then went 8.
Yeah. So what is page 6 should become page 3, and what's page 7 should become page 4, and then bump everything else back.
My
Sent and
apologies.
received. I believe Joe.
My apologies on behalf of the state, whoever that may be. Whoever that may be.
REMAC report, Dr. Markowitz.
Perth Volunteer Fire Company first responders were approved for CPAP, EpiSyringe, Narcan, glucometry, and that's all pending the CLIA waiver on the glucometry. Summit Fire District Rescue Squad was approved for 12-week BLS EKG. AMR requested to begin RSI training, and that was approved. Update on the BLS first responders. Joe said we're in good shape there. Mr. Joe Farrell said that watch out, he's on the road, he's doing his inspections and recertifications. And ALS agency, controlled substances, shortages. The key issue we had there was a Cardigan was in shortage, and a reminder that we've got low pressure in our toy box, and some people were still having problems with Epi 1 to 10,000. We're going to also, REMAC docs are going to go over the new protocols and the skill sets that need to be reviewed and how we're going to approve that and deal with that. That's to come.
Thank you. County reports. Delaware.
Delaware County is going to start with our EMT course in September, and then we're gonna have a CFR course to follow that. Hopefully both will fill, but we're having a lot of problems with enrollment numbers in our EMT and CFR courses. We also have a couple councils together. We did a State of EMS address to the County Board of Supervisors, and we talked about the problems that are existing in Delaware County with response times and availability of agencies to cover our calls. That's about it.
Otsego.
Otsego has 3 basic classes started with decent attendance in all 3. I can't give you the exact numbers. They're underway.
Schoharie.
Nothing to report.
Montgomery.
Nothing.
It's interesting because the only thing I will report from Montgomery is we had a significant enrollment in our EMT course for Montgomery County that started this time around. I was actually shocked at how many people signed up. We actually cut them off and referred some. So. Jack, anything for Fulton County?
The one good thing that's happened is Fulton County now has a full-time EMS coordinator, which is going to be a big benefit. He's working a lot on scheduling training and different things around the county, so that's a big plus for Fulton County.
Can you tell us who it is?
What's that?
It's a secret.
So can you tell us who it is, or is it, who is it?
Mark Sousa.
Mark Sousa.
Hamilton.
Nothing to report.
Howard, did you want to say something?
I was just gonna add to Schoharie County, so,
Okay.
our paramedic class again was near cap at 30. We've got an EMT and an EMT refresher running, and we found the same exact thing, which was really surprising, because the past couple courses, we were actually running at a loss just to keep them going, and we had 20-something in our class when we started. Normal attrition the first couple weeks when people realize what it takes, but we're still holding good numbers. And then AMR had reached out to us. Honestly, we've been talking about it for a couple of years, but it finally came to fruition. We're now in a partnership with them where we're going to do an EMT academy. So they're offering full-time employment where they're going to interview, hire folks with a class that's capped at 20. We're gonna run a weekday, daytime EMT academy for them for a couple months. And they're gonna end up as AMR full-time employees after they get their EMT. So we'll be starting that in late October. They'll test in December. It's a pretty awesome thing. I'm actually really excited about doing it.
And again, there's a ton of applications for the 20 positions.
But please encourage people to apply.
Any old business? New business.
New business I received, I'm sorry, go ahead,
I don't know
John.
if it's old business, I don't know where this falls under, the executive committee, who is that? I don't,
Oh, it's the executive committee, the same folks that get the financial reports. It's, the full executive committee is Jack Farquhar, Lou, Sid Chase, Tom, and myself.
okay, thank you, I didn't know who.
I'm
Thank
sorry,
you.
actually, that is listed in the, under the correspondence.
Oh,
Yeah, you'll see it under the correspondence.
I'll try to track it down. Thank you.
Speaking of correspondence, could I ask you, would it be agreeable with everybody? Correspondence can be very voluminous sometimes. in addition to having some handouts here with the correspondence, how about I send it out the day before our meeting by email to everybody? Would that be good? Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that from now on. And then, we won't have to blame an anonymous stapler.
Crazy cats.
We shall never be named, no, certainly not. Full confidentiality.
Any other new business?
I received a note, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I received a note from, an email from an agency in Delaware County, in Otsego County, saying that they're being asked to sign up with New Berlin Ambulance for backup services. And they didn't know if they had to notify us about this or not. Well, they don't, but I was kind of intrigued by the whole thing. New Berlin Ambulance, from what I understand of this email, I only got it yesterday, so I didn't have a chance to really dig into it. New Berlin Ambulance is offering to provide backup services to other agencies, presumably close at hand geographically in Otsego County, to cover them when they're not able to cover themselves. Does anybody, Sid, do you know anything about this?
I do not, it is news to me.
Okay, it came as total news to me.
I think what is meant by, I'm peripherally aware of what's going on. I think what Village of New Berlin is saying is backup is actually mutual aid. I think it's a mutual aid, but understand also that the Village of New Berlin does contract through intermunicipal agreement with several other towns around them, including the town of New Berlin in Chenango County, town of Pittsfield in Otsego County, and they're also looking, several other towns in that area are also considering, they haven't applied for, but are considering establishing municipal authorities, like through the MuniCom process. And I think it's the intention of some of the, I don't want to speak specifically about who they are, but I think the towns are considering down the road doing an intermunicipal agreement with the Village of New Berlin to be their operator. I don't know if that's the specific case, and I'm not sure which agency is being referenced here, but you know, I can tell you that several towns in that area are looking to establish a relationship with the Village of New Berlin and contract with them for primary response. Not mutual aid, but primary response.
This was presented to me as sort of a backup mutual aid type of thing, but in effect, it might, the mailer may have misspoken, it might be primary response.
It may be semantics, I don't know, but I would also add to that that if it is indeed mutual aid, your council does have authority under our authority to review and approve the plan. So if it is truly a mutual aid agreement, then the regional council should review and approve or not that plan.
I will read further the email question. Had a rather lengthy attachment of the proposed contract with New Berlin, and I did not have a chance, simply didn't have a chance to read it. But I will advise everybody what's going on. I suspect from the tone of the letter, now that you mentioned, Dan, that this had to do with primary response. I suspect that's what it was. But again, I'll keep everybody fully advised.
Any other new business?
Just wanted to update folks on what's been going on with the DMAT stuff. As some of you know, I'm with the New York 6 DMAT team. It's part of the HHS disaster and the EMS system. This past summer, we've been doing a lot of training on isolation, quarantine, such specifically for quote-unquote Ebola, but the actual thing is measles. Getting people to use PPE, use it properly and such. The federal government has spent a lot of money sending folks out to the University of Nebraska on this for 3 days worth of training. Also, we've been out and about doing actual stuff. We had 2 teams down in the Bahamas for Hurricane Dorian, and actually a DMORT team just demobilized today. While they didn't need the medical, they did need our mortuary teams. We have a team coming into the city for the UN General Assembly coming up this week, next week. There's a lot of other stuff where our type of services are needed. And here's the hook for us. We have a team here, New York 6, located out of Syracuse that goes from the Ohio line to Massachusetts up to Canada. We need bodies. If you go to usajobs.gov, you can apply. We're looking for doctors, nurses, PAs, NPs, RTs, pharmacists, and paramedics. So we're out there, we're doing a lot of stuff that does not hit the news. If you're interested, it's there, so I'll just toss that out because we are active.
What's that contact information again?
usajobs.gov. And you create an account and you can apply for the job online. It is paid. Is it paid well? Not really.
This is EMS, it doesn't pay
Well,
well.
But you do some really good stuff. I mean, it's just like what we do here in many ways. You're going out to help people truly in need. I mean, unfortunately for the Bahamas, it wasn't medical, it was recovery.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any other new business? There being none, we'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Pasquale,
Yes.
will there be an opportunity for public comment in this meeting,
I'm sorry?
Public comment.
I missed what you said, Tim, I'm sorry.
I asked whether there would be an opportunity for public comment. I noted there wasn't at the beginning. Typically, either a public body has it at the beginning or the end. I was just asking whether the council intends to have that or not.
Anybody who wishes to make a comment is certainly free to do so, Tim. We don't really have a section.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Sure.
Okay. I heard Mr. Modi's report, and I thank him. Phil, you have a gem in Phil. He's very helpful when I call him anything. He's genuinely a pleasure to speak with. With respect to, and I'm counsel for Empire Ambulance, with respect to the Fulton County application for transfer, that was submitted back in June. I sent a letter to Phil, and again, you have an exhaustive list of correspondence. I didn't see it listed there, but I did send a letter to Phil, I believe it was in August, relative to this council's obligation to declare that complete within a certain period of time, and that having not been done. I also heard relative to correspondence made by, I believe, Mr. Clayton to Mr. Malidi, that no action can be taken when there's an enforcement action pending. At this juncture, I just want the council to be aware that neither JVAC nor Fulton County has been served with any notice of charges or any type of hearing whatsoever, so there is no action pending. I'm curious as to the legal basis for instructing the council from Mr. Clayton that they can't act on this. Given that both applications were also pending, there are certain things that prevent the state from acting against applications that are pending, namely the State Administrative Procedure Act. I appreciate that the council's in a tough spot trying to take direction from DOH. I'm just not sure I don't know that they've given you an adequate legal basis for what they're telling you at this point. And at some point, I indicated this to Phil, that it will result in having the AAREMS be responsible for the direction of DOH, and maybe not DOH. And I think that's unfortunate. I think the council deserves some explanation as to why these things haven't been voted on. I understand that Empire has submitted a controlled substances license back in August, that has not been acted on for ALS approval in this region, for ASFC and JVAC. It remains at Central Ave. So, again, the one thing I would like a response to is the basis that no action can be taken on either the Fulton County application at this point, which was submitted in June, and it is complete. We have everything submitted, and also the JVAC application, which under the policy statement is, due to the expiration of the number of business days, would also be deemed complete by this point. And I would note, in making that request, we have paid $2,000 every single time an application's been made. It's no small sum, and the applicant is entitled to some response, some action by either its regional or the department in terms of an explanation as to why its applications have not been acted upon or voted upon or transferred properly, particularly given the standard that applies to transfer apps, which is fitness and competency.
If I may comment on the controlled substance paperwork, that goes directly to the state. We do not vote on that, yea or nay. So that is in the state's hands. With regard to the second GOA request of JVAC to Empire, we have not deposited that check. simply because that came in after Mr. Clayton advised us that no further action can be taken on these operating certificates pending enforcement outcome. And we are guided, since we are a creature of the state of New York Department of Health, we are guided by the legal advice we received from them. So I can only tell you that that's what we base our actions on.
I have nothing further except for to say that, you know, our Division of Legal, this is all in the hands of our Division of Legal Affairs currently. It's not even within my office or the Bureau. It's all in the hands of the attorneys. And at this point in time, I will reiterate what Phil said, and that is that until the end of the administrative process, certificates are not transferable at this point. So that's all I can say on that.
If I may briefly respond, in terms of the administrative process, essentially where we are right now is what appears to be, hey, we plan to arrest these guys, but we haven't done it yet, no warrant's been issued, so they're a free man. I mean, that application is active, it exists, there's no process pending to speak of. So I think pausing that now or artificially assigning that without some explanation in the law that, hey, our policy statement says you can't transfer this, or our law says you can't transfer this, and I can tell you, having done this stuff, there's nothing that says that. They're essentially making it up at this point. So there's been no basis for that. We've paid $6,000 in application fees, 4 of which has been, I expect, cashed, and I just think that whether it's this applicant or others, that they're entitled to some due process and response from, and again, if the council's taking their direction from the department, fine, but the department should provide the council and then to the applicant some explanation rooted in something that says, here's why we are telling this council not to take any action on your application. And if the representation is, well, you can't because we say so, that's not good enough for anybody.
All I can add to that is I would suggest, Mr. Hannigan, that you contact Division of Legal Affairs, talk to Mr. Tardy, James Tardy. That's all I can tell you right now. I'm not permitted to say anything else.
Has the department provided the council with any legal basis as to why these applications can't be acted on?
I can't speak any further about this.
The letter that the council received that currently those operating certificates are non-transferable due to the fact they're an enforcement action.
Okay. Has that been shared with the applicants, either Empire or JVAC?
Again, gonna have to contact DLA about that. I don't have the answer to that question, honestly. I honestly do not.
And could I also mention that the notice of enforcement action that we received from the Division of Legal Affairs of the Health Department was an official letter notifying of an official action being taken, and we were actually Tom as chairman was directly notified of that, and that letter was shared with all of our members. So we can only act on information presented.
And that letter, just to clarify, that was sent to Mr. Pasquarelli directly, right? It wasn't a copy to JVAC or Empire or V or?
I do not know who was copied to it.
I believe it was AAREMS and myself.
Okay.
It also went to Ryan Greenberg and Steve Zuria.
Okay, thanks.
And did include the statement of charges.
Any other new business? If not, I'm going to take a motion to adjourn. We'll see you guys all next week.
Adjourning at 13:44. We next meet on October 17th. October 17th.
Why?
Try to stay from going upright bars. Yes. Where you can only look out. Can't leave.